TGIF, welcome to Wake Up Real Estate. It's Friday, so we're going to be talking follow-up, specifically going through some results from one of our sponsors here at Wake Up Real Estate, just listed, justsold.com, powered by thanks.io. We'll share a couple of different postcard mailers that we've sent out, one of which through just listed, justsold.com, a couple of others through the thanks.io platform itself. And I have more results to share from sponsored messages, which is a great follow-up practice, something that I am getting more and more excited about the more I use it and create new sponsored messages every week. Well, as always, if you have questions, thoughts, or ideas in the comments, please let us know there. Ryan is Johnny on the spot with his social post the day.
So
the lowest price,
yeah,
habitable, not in need of rehab. I like that. 3-bedroom home on the market.
Yeah,
I like
so very specific, right? This is something you could do. Just go look for the very lowest priced house. You could either include the rehabs or not, and just throw that up there. It's probably in this day and age a good niche to work as well. Call them starter homes or whatever. If you're working a starter home niche, probably a good place to go.
This is very timely because I had a listing appointment yesterday afternoon at a property that, if they take my advice on pricing it, will be the lowest priced 3-bedroom single family available in the township that it's in. The average home price in the township for a single family home is pretty, at least for my market, is pretty high, all things considered. And I am going to I'm going to R&D that. Hopefully we'll have it live on the market late next week. And I'm going to take some variation of that. I'm probably not going to say habitable. I'll come up with a slight variation of that, only because the sellers are a little proud, and I don't want to. I don't want to offend them, let's say. But we say this often when it comes to these social posts. You're really only limited by your creativity. Lowest priced, highest priced, lowest price waterfront property, highest price waterfront property, lowest price 1-bedroom condo, highest price 1-bed. I mean, you can mix and match, slice and dice however you want, and have never-ending content of stuff that people like to look at, right? Consumers like to look at homes. It's why HGTV is so popular. Homes and food, right? That's pretty much all we watch in our house. HGTV, Food Network, and sports. That's it. And Welcome to Wrexham. I like me some Welcome to Wrexham. Anyway, Daphne says move-in ready. Well, that's the idea. I don't know if Ryan toured it or not, but at least according to what he found on it, it was move. Oh, you know what, Daphne? You were saying, as a way for me to reframe that,
yes,
so I don't offend my sellers. Beautiful. That's perfect, actually. Thank you for that. Move-in ready, right? Instead of habitable, whatever. That's a great shout, though, Daphne. Ryan, why don't we get into our follow-up? And while you're pulling that up, the thanks stuff, I'm just going to shamelessly plug the virtual mortgage providers at NEXA Mortgage. And we've been plugging that every day as a show sponsor. But what I haven't mentioned lately is there are several ways we can help you increase your GCI and net revenue, many of which cost you $0. And things that we charge for only cost the cost of it. In other words, we're not profiting from anything we're doing for you. Our profit comes from helping you increase your GCI and your revenue, and us getting an opportunity on the mortgage and financing side. If you want to explore any of that, no pressure, no sales pitch, nothing of the sort. Just schedule a time for us to chat at, I always point the wrong way, there, josh15.com. josh15.com, or you can text help to 888-403-MORT, and I'll send you the link to schedule a time. Okay, enough of the shameless plugging. Let's check out some of the direct mail follow-up, and I guess some of it's not necessarily follow-up per se. We're taking some liberties in the defining of follow-up today, but it's been an ongoing conversation. And just to backtrack a little and tie some things up, what we've been using is Thanks.io in tandem with iList to deliver an interactive seller dashboard to homeowners who might be thinking about selling. And so we've got a couple of different examples, Ryan, that if you want to,
let me bring that
maybe we can take a look at. We'll look at the mail pieces and then also the activity on them. So what was this one, Ryan? Was this a just listed?
This was one of the, I think this was one of the iList ones.
Okay.
So see how much a buyer might pay for your for the address, scan the QR code and get 4 different automated valuations, and make your own adjustments based on property features. Now, keep in mind, this goes out to everybody in the neighborhood. It always has their address on it and a picture of their house on it right there.
If I remember correctly, Ryan, the mailing list that we sent this to was a list that I sort of married together of 2 different things. Number one, people who had already responded to a just listed, just sold series of cards on a property I sold in my neighborhood, and homeowners in the elementary school that we live in, like the elementary school boundaries that we live in, that had a high sell score.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was a curated list of theoretically homeowners that might be more likely to sell.
Was that your Josh top 150? Was that the top 150 list, or is that a different list?
No, that's a different one. So we're going to get to that one next. That one wasn't as responsive, and it was actually kind of confusing, but there's always something to learn with this. So I have some ideas and thoughts on what I'm going to do next with that.
Well, that one did okay. If I'm looking at the right one. Because I think that, unless you didn't mean to send that to them, but 11 out of 166 scanned that one.
Oh
wait, no.
Okay, and 11 scanned the one to my SOI also. I didn't realize it was. Yeah. It ended up being quite that.
That was actually 11 out of 190 on this particular address.
But it's still more than 5%.
Yes.
That's more than 5%, which when it comes to direct mail, that's pretty responsive. That's pretty responsive.
You'll probably see a few more dribble in. So, and just to remind everybody, they went to the iList page here, and it's going to this isn't the actual address it went to. I'm just clicking the preview, as it was typed in. So it would merge in their address right there, but that's on our preview link.
You're giving them immediate access without putting friction in the way, where they can engage, they can play with the dashboard, etc. You're notified. And in fact, in real time, when Ryan did that, I got a text message from iList saying somebody is searching their property. It says, you have a new seller looking at their address, which, by the way, you can get a free, I think it's a 45-day trial with iList at growwithjosh.com/iList. growwithjosh.com/iList. It's an interactive dashboard. And then there's so many great things about it, but you can skip trace. So I've got it set up that you one-click skip trace in iList, and it'll feed them into KB Core, and then you can send a smart campaign. You can do any number of things. You can pick up the phone and call them. Hey, what did you think of the values? What did you think of the 4 values? Or you could call them and say, hey, I looked at the, it looks like you looked at your seller dashboard. I looked at it as well. I think we can actually sell yours for more than what was showing up there. Is that something that you'd be open to? Or, hey, we have some proprietary cash offer platforms, whatever. Like, there's any number of ways that you can frame that as follow-up.
Yeah. So, so you did, and then your second one went to that other elementary high school lists, and you got 11 scans on that too. So I assume you're following up by calling these people or dispoing them or whatever you usually do.
Yeah, we do our full disposition, emailing, texting, the follow-up as well. And honestly, I need to pick up the phone and call them. I haven't, but I need to. The nice thing is I can go into KV Core, I can sort by iList, and I can see the ones that's what they came through, and I can literally just bang, 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 go right down the list.
So I'm just going to show a few other things. Did you have anything more on your account, on your campaigns?
Well,
we should probably show the ones
Ryan,
that had
I did send a just sold postcard with just listed justsold.com. I don't know if you could pull that up as well. It was for 620 Cedar.
We're working on that might be a little tough. Let me see what I can do here. The reason that might be hard is right now we're not showing your results. We're working on putting that in there. Is this the one right here?
That's it.
This one? Okay. So that got 1 scan out of 100. Now we're getting less scans on the just sold listed just solds because the call to action is a little more buried. See how it's smaller and it's not as direct and it's kind of mixed with a bunch of other stuff.
Right.
But there's an example of what's going out there. I'm trying to think about how we can, make the call to action a little more prominent. So you see it's there. Remember, we did this live. When you scan the QR code to the right, you'll get instant access to multiple estimates, what to buy, rate, pay. So it's kind of like they need to be reading closely, or they just need to be scan happy to get to it. But the bottom line with just sold, especially with this one, is you're just letting people know you exist in the market a lot of times. We should actually, now I think about it. Yeah, we should have something that is a lot bigger though, like scan QR for XYZ and make that bigger, right?
I think so. And I don't know if it's possible or you'd consider putting a QR code on the front as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I can see if we can get that done too. So that's an example. So we'll show the stuff that didn't work as great and some stuff that did. Here's one that she scanned it 3 times though. That's good on that particular just sold card. Let's go back into your account. Let's look at a few of I'll show some from other people, not just you.
Well, and while you're doing that, I just want to teach two additional campaigns that I am intending to send. One is a follow-up to yesterday's. On yesterday's show, I talked about one warm coat and doing a coat drive. So next week, I am going to, and maybe I need to schedule it today, honestly, to get it out sooner than later. No. It goes live on the 17th. So this is perfect. Next week, I am going to schedule and send a small postcard to my SOI, my top 150, about the coat drive. And the QR code is going to go to the with onewarmcoat.org. There's a landing page for your coat drive. So the QR code will go there. And then I can follow up with those. Hey, do you have any coats that we can add to the drive? I'm happy to come pick them up. Or you can drop them at one of the drop spots that we have set up. That's one that I'm going to send. And then number 2 I'm going to send is I'm going to send a message about tapping into their equity without losing their low interest rate. Either that, or I'm either going to do something directly around the buy before you sell, or tapping into equity with a HELOC or a second mortgage without jeopardizing the low interest rate. And the reason why I think that's so relevant is in the last month, I've talked to lots of people in my top 150, my SOI, right, at sporting events and so forth. And when they ask about real estate, we get to talking. And so many times I've heard, I am never doing anything to jeopardize my, the 3.25 that I'm locked in at, or the 2.75 that I'm locked in at. And I'm going to play off of that, the conversation or the thought that might already be going on in their head. Yeah, we're not going to jeopardize that low rate that you've got, but we could still tap into your equity if you want to do some renovations, consolidate debt, or invest it elsewhere. So, what was this one? This was
this was an absentee.
Oh yeah,
right. Did you get any calls? Because this is interesting. You didn't have any other calls to action on this. You're not tracking scans or anything, but it feels very. I like it because it's short and sweet, and it feels very like you directed at them, right?
I did not, but I know that this works. We have we have historical data to know that this works. I will say that it can work just like any marketing. You're going to see different results depending on your market and the level of skepticism and the age of the market and so many different things. And also making a slightly different offer. So for example, Harry Moore, who's part of my EXP organization in Maryland, he's had success with a version of this quote unquote golden letter, or I have a buyer letter, where the only other thing he puts in there is that his clients will pay his commission, something along those lines. And I'd have to clean it up, and maybe I can get it exactly word for word for how Harry did that. But that was a way for him to stand out amongst other similar I have a buyer type marketing communications that the homeowner may be getting, just finding some way to stand out a bit.
Yeah. So that one was canceled. So that's a few of yours. I did want to show something that wasn't real estate related.
Sure.
But that can be used by anybody. And this is on the follow-up front. I don't think we showed this at all on the show. This is an insurance agent, but I was working with him on an automated thank you campaign. So this goes out whenever him or one of his agents does a policy. Oh, I've got to save it here. 1 second. We're going to open our no card previews or PDFs. There we go. But this concept, it could work for you guys too, or anybody. And it basically, it thanks them for allowing them to serve them. But it gives a gift card in advance of a referral. So you see the PS, Josh? I don't know if I've shown you this or not.
If you happen to know any friends or relatives who benefit from a free financial review and strategy session, feel free to call us anytime.
Yep. And as a thanks for thinking of us, I've attached a $5 Starbucks gift card. So it's kind of the reciprocation. You're giving something in advance in return for the referral.
Two thoughts I have. I'm so glad that you brought this up. Two thoughts that I have. Number one, you could thank people for checking out their home valuation, right? Thanks for using our home value seller dashboard. And you don't have to give a gift card. You could just send a thanks, okay? And have some kind of call to action. Number one. Number two, Ryan, we haven't talked about this in a long time. And I know you take for granted, because I do too. But Thanks.io has code that people can install on their sites that it's like direct mail retargeting, essentially. So you can install a code on your site so that when someone goes there and they hit allow, there's a little pop-up when they hit allow, Thanks can send them a postcard, a note card, a thank you, whatever. And you could simply say, hey, thanks for checking out our site. Did you have any questions about buying or selling real estate right now, or whatever you want it to say? And if that is something of interest to you, Ryan, where should they who should they reach out to?
Just go to Thanks and use the concierge option inside of Thanks. There's like a link on the left side to schedule, and we'll help you get that built out. I can show an example of that. Let's see.
So this is an example of a direct mail piece that's being sent to people who land on the site.
Yeah, this is just a very simple example of what you can do. Very, very simple. Thanks for recently visiting. Put the website. It says text value reports get to quick to find out what your house might be worth. But it's just a quick thank you. This works because if they're on your site, they're probably seeing your name in a lot of different ways. So if they're on your property alerts and they're coming back every day, or they landed there because they checked out a listing from a Facebook ad or something, it's just a kind of a catch-all to reinforce your brand. And there's lots of different, offers you could make other than just check your house value.
And this is a beautiful example of, it's follow-up Friday, right? So that's a way that you can follow up. You can follow up physically with people engaging digitally.
Yes.
And in an ever-growing, I saw something this morning. Oh, I get an email newsletter every morning from Arnold. It's like the Daily Pump or something like that. And something in there this morning was saying that the average attention span is now like 8 seconds, right?
Yeah.
So in the world we live in, if you can connect with people on more channels, you're increasing the likelihood that they remember you to refer you, or when they're ready to transact themselves, to buy or sell or refinance or whatever it may be.
Josh, I just had a thought, and I thought about this with the visitor view. So say your sell page or your iList page, you can restrict this visitor view retargeting to just one page.
Huh.
Right? But what I was just thinking was, for iList in particular, Thanks has the campaign delay feature. We got to set this up for you because we could say, hey, if somebody lands on this, in that mailing list for the iList retargeting, we can actually tell it to wait 90 days or 30 days and send it a card telling it to check their updated value.
Ooh.
And you don't have to do it that way. That's just an example. You could also just zap the lead into, and put a delay on it doesn't have to be the website retarget, but there are ways that if somebody takes an action on your site, you can then delay the triggering of the mail piece to follow up. Because a lot of those seller leads you've been generating, they're not going to take action right now, but they might be more motivated to when everybody loses their jobs this winter as the bond market crashes today. Sorry.
Debbie Downer, Ryan. But also, I mean, let's face it. Regardless of if Ryan's right or wrong there.
Yeah, I'm kidding.
In January, February, March is when people, a lot of times get more serious about selling, right? They're thinking about it now because they're planning for the future. And so having that, I like that a lot.
Incidentally, the jobs report came in okay today, guys, and I think that's bad for the stock market, but it's good for recession for now. I don't know what it means, but people aren't losing their jobs, so I want to retract that last statement. Anyway,
until next week.
Until next week. So follow up automatically. People visiting your website, especially the home value leads. Hey, do you want to come back and check that home value again? That seems like a really, really good use case. Or get your mortgage lender involved. Have them trigger something 2 weeks later. It says, hey, do you want to refinance your house? Because if they're checking their home value, they might be getting the idea that they might want to refinance.
Yep.
There was one. I think that's enough for now on the follow up. I could show examples all day, but again, on the Thanks.io front, if you need help, all we do is you just create your account, and then on the left side of the page, you'll see this thing that says Real Estate Wizard, and you could just tell us what you want to do. Any of these, and if it's an other, just use the link to schedule with us. So
perfect. I'm going to share one other thing on the sponsored message front, just because I said that I would. If you're not familiar with what this is, we've talked about it several times on the show the last few weeks. We have a document that walks you through how to create one step by step. This is the one that I've been running this week. It's taking a script that has been working incredibly well through texting to schedule appointments, and using it in, it's the principle of taking something that's working someplace and finding more ways to use it. And the script is very simple. If we could show you how to buy a new home with zero money down, would you be available for a quick chat sometime this week or weekend? And I have invested a whopping, what is the whopping? $4.78. Less than a Starbucks cup of coffee. I've had 27 people respond, not all positively. Of that, we've at least scheduled 7 or 8 appointments, including one that just said, yes, I'd like to have a quick chat Saturday, 10 a.m. Best number for Colleen to reach you. Here you go, right on. And so the first thing I need to do when we're done with the show here is go and get that added to Colleen's calendar so that she can follow up and follow through. next week, I am doing a first-time homebuyer workshop, a workshop, a virtual workshop or webinar for first-time homebuyers Thursday night. And so my sponsored message, which I already created, well, instead of me talking about it, I'll show you the sponsored message that I created before the show that is scheduled to start next week to invite folks to that first-time homebuyer webinar. It looks like this. Hi, Josh. We're hosting a free online webinar for first-time homebuyers Thursday night at 7:30. Would you like to join us? And when they hit yes, I'd love to, that button actually redirects them to a page where they can register for the webinar. We'll see. I don't know. I have no idea how many will click and how many will end up signing up for the webinar. But I'll have an update for you on Friday because it's Thursday night, and we'll be back Friday with an update.
Great.
I think that's probably pretty good for the week. If you are working this weekend, holiday weekend here in the States, and you need some help on the financing side, you can text HELP to 888-403-MORT, 888-403-MORT. If you would like to chat with me about how we can help you increase, look at that. I'm remembering I got to do the reverse. You can go to josh15.com. It's also up there, josh15.com, and we can chat about how our team can help you increase your GCI and net revenue, even in let's face reality. It's tough sledding right now. Transaction count is way down, but we're working hard. We're scheduling appointments. We're getting people pre-approved, working them through applications. And I'll just throw out there too. I learned this week that we have a pretty incredible lease to own program. So if you have clients that maybe they're not ready, we can't quite get them pre-approved, we should at least explore the lease to own program. And if you want help with that, just text help to 888-403-MORT. And I'll probably have some more information and details on that next week on the show at some point. But just another way to turn every conversation into an opportunity, regardless of where people are at and what they're looking to do. So
great.
Ryan, good stuff. Both of us for the whole week. You know what? Monday's a holiday. I got kids off.
Let's take it off. See you guys Tuesday.
Yeah. We'll see you on Tuesday.
We need a break.
We'll see you on Tuesday for Texting Tuesday. And since I already threw it out, Wednesday we'll talk about the lease to own program. And we'll have some other great stuff on what's working now. Hope you all have a great long weekend, and let us know if you need anything.
Great.
Take care.
Smash the like, subscribe, all that stuff. All right. Bye-bye.